Hey guys, how's it going? It is Kire here with another Aether Gazer video, and in today's video is going to be a full breakdown on Tsukuyomi. I think this is going to be the format I'm going to be doing for all the characters that I can actually pull and have the resources to be able to play. I'm going to break it down in this format. You'll see timestamps down below on every single topic, so if you want to jump around, feel free to do that. And with all that being said, let's get into the video. And before we begin, how I'm playing this game is on PC with BlueStacks, link down in the description if you want to check it out. And also I use a controller. I think this makes the experience way better than playing on mouse and keyboard. I just plug it in, it works really well with BlueStacks there. So it's a common question, figured I'd clear that up before we begin the video. Okay, so next let's talk about her Functor. I think this is easily one of the most impactful Functors you could possibly get in this game if you are pulling for Tsukuyomi. Hopefully you win the 50-50 so you have enough resources to be able to hit this, because I think this is going to massively change how much damage you do. Even though it's not necessary, I think she's still a very good character, and if you don't end up getting this, it's not the end of the world, but this is easily going to be one of the best possible Functors you can possibly get, in my opinion. So the first portion of this doesn't change too much. It's just a nice bonus. Each time Seal of Thunder is cleared or an enemy with Seal of Thunder is defeated, attack is increased by 6% for 9 seconds, effect stacks up to 3 times. So this is just typical things, nothing's going to change there, just a nice boost every time you do the normal rotation for Tsukuyomi. This is where it changes though, is the third move of Thunder Out of Blue now expends all existing rage, and for every 1% rage expended, the third move of Thunder Out of Blue deals 1.5% more non-dot damage. So what you need to do with this is, instead of just the second you have 2 charges and your third move available, you need to wait until you have 100% rage, then drop it to do the most amount of damage. We'll talk about it here in a moment. If you have the red path, then you need to add another stack of lightning, then get to 100 rage, then drop it. And we'll show all of those rotations later on. Okay, so the free-to-play options here, if you don't go for the signature Functor, or you happen to have chosen a different one to roll on and you're out of resources, would be this one here. And the moment a skill or ultimate is used, increases crit rate by 10%, increases crit damage by 30. I think this is a really solid option. You know, obviously not as good as the other one, but I would say this is a really good choice. Keep in mind though, if you are buying the battle pass, then this one is already guaranteed in the battle pass. So I would recommend choosing something different in that situation. But I think this is a good option. Now let's go to the epic ones. This is something that you can get just if you do a 10 pull. There's a couple options here that are worth going over. So I have this one here. This is just the blue one that if you'll get a ton of these. So 10% crit rate, kind of nice, but just notice it's 30% 30 attack, 10% attack there, significantly less raw stats, but okay. Then you have this option, increases crit rate by 12% for 6 seconds whenever a dodge effect is triggered. I would say, you know, maybe this one's better even, you know, unless you're dodging consistently, but this is only for 6 seconds. Yes, you do get more base attack, so probably is better, but then just keep that in mind that it's pretty much splitting hairs there. Me personally, I prefer this one a little bit more. Increases attack by 4% for 9 seconds whenever attack crits, stacks up to 3 times. So this is definitely the more consistent option in my opinion. You get the higher attack percentage. You don't need to rely on dodging for it. I like this one more. So those are going to be the options for the Functors here. Basically, it comes down to hopefully you have enough resources to be able to get the main one here. But if not, you can get the one out of the dimensional variable, or if you bought the battle pass, then you'll be fine. You'll get it right here at level 30. Next up is Sigils. Whenever I do Sigils on a character guide, I'm always going to assume that you know exactly what's going on here. If you don't know what's going on here, definitely check out this video linked above. That will explain everything when it comes to Sigils. So after you have seen that video, know what's going on here, this is what I would want for my Sigils on Tsukuyomi. I think this is the best 2 sets here. It's going to be Lightning Cutter in 135 and then Caledonian Rage in 246. Main reason why you want them like that is going to be always the damage skill effects here. Then when it comes to the actual set effects, I would say the main priority is going to be getting as much crit rate and crit damage as possible, because so much of the attack is actually already given to you, and because this is such a rare thing to get anyway. So that's going to be the #1 priority in my opinion, if you can get it. Next, thunder damage is fantastic. There's a ton of other things here that we could potentially be getting. I would just try to stay away from anything from a tanky perspective. And then utility wise, I like rage cost reduction. You can get that up to 20%. And then you can also get a rage increase, like the energy increase. So you could get that up to 55% when you combine that with your Caledonian Rage set bonus there. And then also the ultimate skill charge speed. Just keep in mind that there's only 24 of these you can actually get. So you're never going to be able to max out every single one of these good ones. But there's a lot of good ones here. It's just this currency is incredibly hard to get, or it's going to take a ton of energy to do this. So it's always going to be this game of settling for what you potentially get based on your RNG. So to kind of give you guys an idea of what mine looks like so far, I got the thunder damage. The mod index multiplier is okay. You got the crit damage, max HP is bad. Ideally, we would have that change. Crit rate plus rage cost reduction, I think that's a good one here. We have the crit rate plus healing received, not good. Attack plus the rating gain. Both of these are half good, half bad. Then we have the healing effects plus 5 plus the rage cost reduction, that's bad. Very few of these are actually fully good. So we got this one. Notice how most of these, it's like, oh, a good effect here, bad effect here, good effect here, bad effect here. But this is going to be one of those things that's just going to take a long time of grinding. That is how I have it currently, but this is going to be the biggest upside for your damage on your Tsukuyomi. Okay, let's talk about team synergies. The first thing I want to talk about is going to be Jin zones. So when you have 2 characters, you get a modified mode bonus. When you have 3, you get a sustained combat bonus. So most of the time, you're just going to have 2 of this type. That's usually ideal, but 3 is okay. In my opinion, there's going to be some situations where it's actually kind of clutch. But the first thing is going to be the modified mode bonus. This is the big one to understand. So deals damage to enemies on field equal to the percentage of the damage an enemy takes in modified mode after mods exit modified mode. If you can take a boss, for example, into modified mode, do a ton of damage, then the enemies on the field will just get wiped out. It's nice when there's 2 bosses. So you'll take one into modified mode and then you do damage there to him, and then as you come out, you'll do a percentage of that damage they'll take. Very nice effect there. And then the sustained combat bonus increases mods damage according to the number of enemies they face. I think this is actually pretty clutch here in harder versions of Past Grudges, because you only have a minute to clear it. So if you have 3 of this same type, you're all going to be doing more damage to the groups of enemies you have to clear in 1 minute. Could be actually pretty useful. That'd be an example of that. But for the most part, I think the best thing to do is to have 2 of those same type and then 1 healer, for example. This is my favorite pairing with her so far, is going to be this character. A couple things that I like about her. I think she's just universally going to be good on every team. Basically, she's just a really splashable unit. A couple things I like is going to be this. She has these cards and then gains divination effect that lasts 15 seconds. So a very long time. When the card is drawn, is different from the previous one. The effect is increased by 50%. So she needs to rotate through these. All of these things apply to Tsukuyomi in some way. So the attack is increased by 18%. That's very good. Then we have grants rage every 2 seconds. For 15 seconds, that's pretty insane. You'd have a massive amount of rage there. Then lastly, it's going to be restores HP equal to 9.8% of attack every 3 seconds. So all of these are very good. Preferably the rage and the attack is going to be the ones that you run into. Normally that's only for her. You have to make sure you get the right code. And down here in the red path, divination effect applies to the entire team. So the effect is reduced by 50% for teammates, not the full amount. And you need the code for it. Also a nice little side bonus with her. This is very niche. But one of the big flaws of Tsukuyomi is the long cooldown on her skill 3. Whereas if you look at her skills here, when she ults, the cooldown time of skill 3 is reset, and the remaining cooldown time of other allied mods skill 3 is shortened by 5 seconds. Very niche, pretty nice to know. Could come up actually pretty clutch. Also grants a 20% ultimate skill charge whenever the mod or teammates use an ultimate skill. So as they're ulting, then you'll gain this extra ultimate skill as well. So very good synergy here, right? Jin zone bonus and a very niche benefit there with the ultimate. And then, but mostly going to be the divination thing here. It's a very good character that not just Tsukuyomi would pair well with, but most characters will. Next, I think this is just a very standard good teammate. Another very splashable unit. Also, everyone gets her Omega. I had a whole video about her. If you want to check her out, you can check it up in the top. I'll link it up there. But a very good healer. Also is going to be giving attack to the entire team. Also a very good option. So you could potentially be getting 2 attack bonuses between these 2 characters and both of them healing. So very good. Then we have classic pairing here. Correct Jin zone bonus of her teammate. And then also increases the damage of her ultimate. Nice thing about this, all members of the team are granted 7.5% ultimate skill charge for every additional enemy she lands a hit on. So if you have someone with a really good ult as the 3rd member, you hit a ton of people, they're going to get a ton of ultimate power there. This combination here can actually be pretty clutch of her, and her to be able to consistently you'll have more damage based on the number of enemies. You'll have the benefits of this ultimate here, and she'll be able to ult a ton. And her ult's really good. So that is an option. Basically, it's just looking at Jinza and bonuses, looking at the ultimate skill chains. These are all good synergies. I also think you don't need to have the Jinza and bonus. You know, it's not super necessary. Had a lot of success just teaming these three up together. I think they're very good as well. Also keep in mind, as a teammate, AI wise, she's super good. The AI controls her very well. If you want to just have a healer here, play that, and then you just let her do her thing, she's going to do a ton of damage. The AI will do the combo correctly. Okay, so this is going to be the skill rotation for the red code and what you need to change in your playstyle to accommodate this. So we want to be looking out for this. Each time the Seal of Thunder is cleared from an enemy, or an enemy with Seal of Thunder is defeated, 15 rage is granted. That's really convenient in being able to string together our combos. Then we have each time the Seal of Thunder is cleared or when an enemy with Seal of Thunder is defeated, the remaining cooldown time of skills, including ultimate skill, is shortened by 1.5 seconds. That's fantastic. And then lastly, this is the big one here, is uses the third move of Thunder out of Blue, also clears the Seal of Thunder, and when Seal of Thunder is cleared, the thunder damage is dealt is increased by 35% for 12 seconds. So the thing that we're going to need to add here is going to be adding another Seal of Thunder before we do our Thunder out of Blue. That's going to be the big change here. And then all of these rotations are going to involve the main Functor. So we're going to be maxing out our rage before we drop the Thunder out of Blue. So let's get into it. So we're trying to stack up as much rage as possible. So we go here, and then skill 3, we dodge there, go skill 2, get skill 3. So we have 3 on here. Now we go here. Notice how I got the skill up first, or I got a Seal of Thunder on there first. Now I'm getting my rage up. So we're trying to wait. Okay, let's lock onto him. Okay, we were supposed to dodge that. And now we're at 100, so now I drop it. So then now all my stuff is increased. So what I can do now is ult, and then this is doing 35% more thunder damage. And then he has one on there. Okay. So we drop that. We drop skill 3. You had the thunder on there again. Now we're going to drop the thunder again, and then now we just need to build enough rage to do this. I'm going to just drop it to make sure. And then so I'm dropping that and then ulting immediately after, but so at least we got him in here. We're going to skill 2 and then skill 3 and then skill 3 again. And we have enough rage on here to drop it again. Then we bring him back in. And then now we'll do skill 2. Skill 3. Notice how that's giving me more rage because that 15. I'm dropping it again. Oh, and then we're dead. So then let's go through the blue path, see how it changes from the red version of this. Whereas first thing is going to be when Seal of Thunder is inflicted on an enemy, Tsukuyomi's crit rate is increased by 15% for 10 seconds. I want to see if this stays consistent or when I pop the Seal of Thunder, it goes away. I believe this is just going to apply as a buff. So every time I apply it, I'm basically constantly refreshing a crit rate increase. Witness for the world when the last strike of a normal attack results in a hit, or when a skill cast by tapping on the normal attack after extremity dodge results in a hit, there's a 50% chance of inflicting Seal of Thunder on enemy's hit. I think this is a nice bonus. I don't like that it's 50%, but getting this out of doing a full string of normal moves and it landing half the time is kind of convenient, especially in situations where you're out of cooldown on your skill 1 and your skill 2, and you want to be able to proc your skill 3. It's just a nice kind of combo extender there to keep it going. Lastly, hits landed on enemies with Seal of Thunder deal 20% more damage. Ideally, this would be good, and I think this might actually not change my rotation. Maybe I'll want to apply Seal of Thunder on there. But the benefit here, Thunder out of Blue is not going to proc Seal of Thunder. The rotation actually stays similar in this situation. And we'll see the pros and cons here because we're going to be losing the extra rage and we're going to be losing the cooldown reduction of these things, but we're going to be gaining crit rate. And then we're also going to be gaining an extra ability to land Seal of Thunder. And then we're also gaining 20% extra damage there. The blue version, we got to worry about not having as much rage generation, but we do get way more crit rate. And we have a way easier ways of being able to land skill 3. Notice how we just dodged and we're able to land it that 50%. So it's just a little longer to be able to generate it, and we'll be able to get that skill point up. We have the more crit rate, and now we have basically enough rage to do that. Now let's ult. Okay, we have enough. We're gonna be able to land it more. Like, we get the actual Seal of Thunder up quite a bit. I'm going to send him through here. So that was another example of getting the Seal of Thunder early. I'm going to just wait. We're going to go down, and then notice how in that situation the Seal of Thunder doesn't go away because that only happens on red mark. That's another change here. Okay, we got him through. That's super good timing. And we just landed the Thunder just through the auto attack, which is clutch because I didn't have to A2 there to be able to do it, which is really cool. We're able to land it here. It's another example of being able to use the auto attack to our benefit. Let's ult him. Let's drop it. He's low. Okay, there we go. So that is, to be honest, I like blue a lot because of the ability to consistently land Seal of Thunders when you normally wouldn't be able to. Okay. Now let's take a look at the final path here. I think this is probably the weakest out of all three. In my order, it's going to go red, blue, yellow. Let's take a look at it so you can check it out and see how it plays. First thing is going to be the Scale of Retribution. Rage expenditure of Thunder Ardent Light is reduced by 10. Kind of nice. Nothing too crazy there. Next is going to be when Seal of Thunder is inflicted on an enemy 2 ways apart from Thunder Ardent Light, the cooldown time of Thunder Ardent Light is reset. So in this situation, it's basically just going to be if you apply it with your skill 2, then you're going to get a cooldown reset on Thunder Ardent Light. And then finally, each time Thunder Ardent Light attack results in a hit, non-dot damage of the third move of Thunder out of Blue is increased by 33%, effect stacks up to 3 times. So this right here, like, this just feels so much better. This Imperial Blade feels so much better than awe-inspiring. Let's take a look and see how this works. Also, these two moves just feel so much worse than Night City and Crescent Moon. And then even Age of Gods just feels so much better than these two here. I like playing it out. I think not all these are clear-cut. Blue played a lot better than I was giving it credit for with this example here. So let's take a look at how yellow plays. We're going to be able to have only 8 rage here, which is nice. We don't get any rage increase here when we pop it, which is a bummer. Okay, we already got it. Now we need to apply that move more and then build up our rage. Here, I'm going to target this guy. He feels easier. So now we're going to land that. That did 33% more damage. Let's do our ult. See, that was a misplay. We should have done skill this right here first to get the reset, and we could have gotten both. We dodged that. We're going to hit that. I think that's the final one. Then we're going to drop this. So, okay, that was a pretty big hit. Try to immediately ult. Yep, that's what I was hoping for. Okay, let's hit this. Charge this up all the way. Drop that. That's a massive hit there. Let's try to charge up our rage. I'm just going to drop it now. Oh. So I felt like I did way more damage with blue. Like the amount of stuff I've been landing here. And with blue, I'm able to get the Seal of Thunder out way more consistently. See here. Yeah, and I'm done. But with that, there's so many situations where either red version is going to be giving me like less cooldowns, more rage as I proc stuff, and more damage for 12 seconds. And the blue path is giving me situations where the Seal of Thunder is applied automatically for me. You get the extra crit rate, stuff like that. So I really feel like that was my least favorite version of that. And I was landing, big damage there, it felt like. But then looking at their health, they still had like 6 bars left. Whereas I felt like maybe in replay it won't appear this way. But I felt like if I did that same kind of damage with blue mark, they would already be dead, which they were in my example. But that's how at least it felt playing it. Okay, let's talk about which M.E.O.W to pick for this character. And I think this is probably the best one. This has been my favorite one. The extending the duration of modified mode for 3 seconds. You gain the extra benefit when you have 2 of the people at the same gen zone. So doing the damage to everyone else. So having more time in there to do more damage is really good. These are the options I like to pick. So increases other allied modifiers attack by 5% for every enemy on the field up to a maximum of 20%. I like this a ton. It synergizes really well if you have 3 of the same gen zone. You're getting attack benefits and damage benefits of having more people on the field. I like this one. Increases other allied modifiers damage by 15% when they are in 0 time or modified mode. In both situations, you're going to be getting that 15% damage bonus. Or when you come out of modified mode, that's going to mean you're doing that much more damage to everyone else because of that gen zone bonus. Other options, let's just kind of go through these. I would say this one, the only time I can think of this one being useful because you need to ult so much to get the full advantage of it would be in hazard zone cleaning, specifically the final stage, because that's like a 10-minute thing you need to do. Keep that in mind with that one. It takes quite a bit to go through. Then I can see the extends other allied modifiers 0 time duration by 1 second. And then, lastly, I wanted to talk about this one here. So when the modifying level is at Omega, increases other allied modifiers crit rates by 10%, increases the ultimate skill charge by 1 whenever their attacks crit. So if you're facing a lot of enemies and you can keep your chain up to this level, this one's actually pretty good. I think it's just too fleeting to be able to consistently land this. So when you're like, you finally get it, you're pretty much kind of over with in that section. But if you're kind of doing a punch up or something, I can see this actually being pretty good where you're getting the crit rate up, you're getting the ultimate skill charge up, and then you clear that mode, you drop your modifying level, and then go to the next section and get it back up there. I guess it just depends on how fast you can ramp it up. If you have multiple things that are increasing your modifying level percentage, for example, you can have that here in your sigils, mod enhanced. So mod index multiplier by 5%. Like imagine you had this 20%, you're constantly able to increase this in a faster rate. Then you're going to be at Omega way faster for longer, which is going to increase your ultimate and your crit rate. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for this video here. Let me know down in the comments below if there's any other questions you have about this. I want to use this format for every character that I'm going to be fully reviewing here. So if there's anything I missed out on, I would like to have that be improved in the next version of this. Probably going to be this character here. I think she is going to be the next like full guide I'm going to be doing. So I would like to have everything ready to go for the next possible video. So please let me know. That'd be super helpful. All right. And if you made it this far, hopefully it was helpful and you guys have a good one. Peace.